I am Balázs Muraközi, and I am a lecturer in economics at the University of Liverpool Management School. I will talk you about my research and also a course I teach. It is a final year course on international economics relations. My research area in general is about firm behavior, competitiveness, and productivity, and I do empirical research. So I use very detailed data to understand these kind of questions. One of my focuses within this field is international trade. So I ask such questions as which firms are able to enter international markets. So what kind of capabilities, knowledge do they need in order to enter? What happens with them? Do they benefit from entering, or probably probably it's a very risky strategy for them? Or how can the state support them in order to be able to benefit from internationalization opportunities? A recent topic I'm working on is supplier-buyer relationships. It is partly motivated by the recent availability of large data sets, which includes information on transactions between buyers and sellers. For example, there is such data available for the whole economy in some countries, or in some large global industries, for example, the auto industry, and this is the data I'm working on now. It is quite an important recent perspective on firm behavior and in international trade. It maps reality better than some abstract concepts of markets and industries. And also we see that in reality, much of economic activity, much of exports and value added is produced and traded by multinational corporations or within the context of global value chains of exporting and importing parts and products across countries. And also it is related to the network perspective, which proved to be quite fruitful in many social and natural sciences. It is quite important in practice. So one motivation for studying these questions is that for small, medium, and some large firms, actually joining global value chains, being able to supply one of the large multinationals is an important way of upscaling, of increasing their scale, of growing, and also of learning and becoming more competitive and productive later on. So this is something which policymakers take very seriously and design many programs to help these firms to join global value chains. But what we are researching now is it goes a bit beyond this, because besides understanding which firms are able to join these types of supplier-buyer networks, it is also important what does the quality of the relationship depend on. It is important whether the relationship is long-lasting or just temporary, whether the partners are equal in the relationship or one is very dominant, and most importantly, how much knowledge is exchanged. Another argument that this kind of perspective is quite important is obvious if we just think about what's happening now with this pandemic. Obviously, the pandemic spills over across countries via these supply chains and trade relationships, and understanding them actually helps us to understand better how the economy reacts and what kind of policy responses can help the economy to work better. So how do I use this kind of research in my teaching? So I said I am teaching a final year course in international economic relations, and I try to use this research or my perspective in four respects at least. So one is that I'm working with a lot of real life data, and I am very happy to show my students where these data sources are and how to use them, which is, I think, a very important skill in today's economy. Another thing is that besides just discussing how theories look like, I focus on how we can test these theories, how can we use data to prove whether these theories are true or not that much. I also emphasize the firm level perspective during the whole course, which is relevant for many students, given that they will probably make decisions within firms, and understanding how these kind of firm level decisions channel into more larger patterns can give them quite an important perspective. And finally, of course, I allow quite a bit of time to discuss the questions of multinationals, global value chains, and outsourcing, which is a very active line of research in general in international trade. And also, I think it can inform the students and can be helpful for them later on. So I thank you for looking the video, and I'm looking forward to meeting at least some of you.